So, good evening, everyone. My name is Rochelle May Anlavides. My topic is writing a play, the types and the elements of a drama. So, let's start. So, writing a play is a collaborative art form. So, it combines the playwright words with the actor's interpretations. So, the director's vision and the audience's engagement is to create a unique and dynamic experience. So, imagine that you read a book, then you see the words on the page, and you have to picture everything in your head. Now, imagine a movie. So, you see the characters, hear their voices, and experiences the story visually. So a play is a kind of like a movie, but it's live. So the actors are right there in front of you, speaking lines the playwright wrote. So and the stage directions tell them how to move, what expression to make, and even how the scenery should look. So when you read the play, it's not just about understanding the words. It's about imagining the entire performance. That's what makes it different from a novel. So it's meant to be seen, heard, and not just read. The writer of a play is called a playwright or a dramatist. Playwriting is a form of creative writing that requires a deep understanding of dramatic structures, characterizations, dialogue, and the nuances of performance. So there are elements of a play. First, we have the acts and scenes. It represents the actions that happening in one place at one time. Second, we have the characters. The characters are a crucial part of the story and are interwoven with the plot of the play. They are also the one who represent the actions that happening in one place. Next, we have dialogue. So the dialogue is the interaction between the characters in the play. Next, we have plot. It is the order of the events that occur in the play. We have the setting. The setting is the time and place where a story is set. And the last one is the stage directions. So the directions provide the instructions for the technical aspect of a production. Now I will discuss to you how to write a play. So first you need to create an interesting plot. So if you don't have a plot, you don't have a play. The plot leads your story, taking you, your audience, and your characters from the beginning to the end. So it doesn't have to be linear, but audiences should be able to follow it. So the second one is add an appropriate subplot. So if you're writing a longer play, consider a subplot. The third one is decide on your structure. You have limited physical space with a stage play. So you need to keep this in mind when structuring your play. You can only have a handful location compared to a novel where you can have as many location as you like. So in a play, the more location you have, the more difficult you make it to translate onto stage. No matter how great your story, if a company director cannot envision how to stage what you have written, they will less likely to want to bring it to life. You have limited physical space with a stage play. So keep this in mind when structuring your play. You can only have a handful of location compared to a novel where you can have as many location as you like. In a play, the more location you have, the more difficult you make it translate onto stage. No matter how great your story, if a company or director cannot envision how to stage what you have written, they be less likely to want to bring it to life. So go for your locations that are easy to set up and for people to visualize when reading your script. The more complicated you make your structure and set design, the harder it will be for people to follow. The next one is how you want it to look. Make sure that the stage layout is easy to follow in your stage play, though you don't want to confuse the set designer about how your play should look. Next one is know your audience. You need to think about the age, the gender, the demographic, the class, the background, the education, and anything else. So when picturing who you're writing for, come up with your perfect audience member and tailor your script to them. The narrower your imaginary audience is, the easier it will be to write your script. Next is lay it out correctly. Make sure your plays is laid out correctly because there are different ways of playing a play out depending to the writer or to the actor. Next is create interesting characters. So, like any other piece of writing, each of your characters should be unique and easy for the audience to identify. The way your characters speak can tell your audience a variety of things, including their class and educational level, and it's therefore important to get this right. Next is make your character gesture grand. Facial expression should be used sparingly when writing a play. Write your stage direction so that they can be seen. Every way that you pace your character sentences should have the reader of your stage play exactly what your character is thinking and feeling. So the actor will then be able to easily translate this onto the stage using the tone of their voice to emphasize the dialogue. So, to write a stage play, you have to be able to visualize how your play will appear on stage to audience members all over the theater. Once you get into that mindset, it becomes easier. So, now let us proceed to the types of drama. But before that, let us define first what is drama. So, the word drama was derived from the Greek word spa. The first means an act or play, while the latter means to act or take action. In literature, drama encompasses the portrayal of fictional or non-fictional events through the performance of written dialogue. So, there are types of drama in literature. We have the comedy, the tragedy, the tragic comedy, the melodrama, the farce, the opera, the musicals. Us proceed to the first types of drama in literature, which is the comedy. So, the comedy is one of the most popular forms of drama in literature, and it aims is to make the audience laugh. Its tone is light, and it's almost always has a happy ending. So, the form started with Aristotle in ancient Greece in the 4th century. One of the example of comedy is the work of William Shakespeare, and the title is Much Ado About Nothing. So now let us proceed to the next types of drama. We have tragedy. So in tragedy, um, the main character usually has some weaknesses or defect that causes their downfall. So the protagonist or the hero in the tragedy is brought down by their loss. The murders, pain, deaths, and insanity are among the most common ideas in tragedy. So like the piece of William Shakespeare also, which is the Romeo and Juliet, which is I know that is it is very familiar with us. Next, we have the tragic comedy. So, the tragic comedy, by the word itself, tragic and comedy, it combines the features of the tragedy and the comedy. So, it has a sad plot and a happy ending or be serious, with some elements of humor emerging throughout the play. So, the first person to write a tragedy is the Roman dramatist, which is Plautus. Plautus. One of the example of the tragic comedy is also the piece of William Shakespeare, which is The Merchant of Venice. Let us proceed to the next one. We have the melodrama. So, the melodrama, the characters tropes such as heroes, heroine, villains, mentors, and etc. Sweeping stories of romance or serious topic, larger than life plots and circumstances, exaggerated character reactions. So we have also melodrama. So it has clear literary themes. The the characters must overcome their faults in order to reach their resolution. The ending is sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy. The one of the example of melodrama is A Doll's House, which is written by Henrik Ibsen. Now, let us proceed to the next one, farce. So, a form of drama that uses absurd forms of comedy, also known as dark humor. So its humor depends more on the character's physical appearance and silly jokes rather than the storyline. So Pars differs from a comedy in that the plot is primarily illogical and the occurring events are impossible. So one of the example of Pars is Samuel Beckett Waiting for Godot, which is written by Samuel Beckett. So we have also the opera. So a stage drama entirely set to music. It is made up of vocal pieces with instrumental accompaniment and usually with orchestral overtures and interludes. So one of the example of the opera is the La Boheme. We also have the musical. So in musical, it combines song, the spoken dialogue, the dance, and the acting. It is pretty easy to confuse them with operas because in an opera, the lines are sung, but a musical employs dialogues infused with music performance. So one of the example of musical is The Sound of Music and My Fair Lady. Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, identified six fundamental elements that make up a drama. So, these elements are considered as essential for analyzing and understanding the structure, the meaning, and impact of a play or theoretical performance. So, let's talk about this. So, first, we have the plot, or it is also called mythos. So, the definition of the plot by Aristotle is the plot refers to the sequence of events that occur in a play. So it includes the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and resolution. The plot should have a logical and coherent structures with a clearly defined beginning, middle, and end. So the plot is also what drives the story to forward and keep the audiences engaged. So the second elements here is character or the ethos. So the characters are individuals who inhabit or they are the one who's making an actions in the world of the play. So they can be fictional or based on real people. So each character should have their own unique personality, motivation, and beliefs. So they interact with one another and drive the plot forward through their actions and dialogue. It is needed to have a well-developed and believable characters for the audience engagement and emotional connection with the story. So, the third one is we have the theme or dianoia. So, we all know that theme is the central LD. We all know that the theme is the central idea or message of a play. So, it explores universal concepts such as love, power, justice, or morality. So themes can be implicit or explicit, and it also often interpretation. So the themes provide different meaning and purpose to the events and actions within the play and can provoke thought and discussion among the audience. So the next one is we have the language or the dictions or the lexis. So the language refers to the dialogue and verbal communications that used by the characters in a play. So it includes the choice of words, the rhythm, the style, and the overall linguistic devices employed. So I believe that language is a powerful tool for conveying emotions, and also it establishes the tone and creating the atmosphere of the play. So the way characters speak can also reveal their personality and interaction. So next one we have music or melos. So, music encompasses all forms of the auditory elements in the play, including the sound effects, the background music, and even the rhythm and the cadence of the dialogue. So, music can enhance the mood, and it also create the tension or suspense, and it can evoke emotional responses from the audience. So, it is very helpful. Um, it is a vital component of many theatrical productions, whether live or recorded. So now let us proceed to the next elements. So we have the spectacle. So the spectacle refers to the visual elements in the play, including the set design, the costumes, the lighting props, and the stage effects. So the spectacle encompasses the overall aesthetic and visual appeal of the performance. Spectacle can enhance the audience immersion in the story. It creates a specific atmosphere, and it convey important symbolic meanings. So Aristotle's six elements of drama, such as the plot, the character, the theme, the language, the music, and the spectacle, provide a comprehensive framework for understanding and analyzing theatrical performances. So each um, element contributes to the overall impact and experience of drama. So by examining these elements, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the art of storytelling and the power of the theatrical medium.